What about it, YouTube? Alright, I've held off on doing a video discussing this panic, this virus. And you can find, because nobody can trust anything out of the media, you can find every theory and conspiracy theory, and you can find people pointing fingers and running around, but at the end of it all, at the end of the day, what we have on the ground, what we have happening to social cohesion, is people panicking, grocery stores being depleted, and it's kind of weird to me because you would think that we'd be seeing images of hospitals overrun with patients and hysteria and bodies being prepared to be sterilized for the morgue to try and, you'd think you'd see evidence of people sick and dying more than what we see. So then the argument becomes, well, if we'll take these precautions, and that's what protects us from having this happen. I mean, but we don't do it for any other flu, and just every kind of nonsense. Every flu since who knows when has been named after a location, and now it's called racism. It's just everything in the world that can be nonsensical and bizarre, and I don't even know how to put my whole thoughts together on this, because it's just so bizarre. It's irresponsible. If there's no real panic, then it's irresponsible for anyone to cause a panic. It's no different than yelling fire in a theater as a joke. It's not funny. Let's say that there were people that were dying of it. Is it that many people that we need to burn the stock market down and have people stay at home and quarantine? And is that and all in the name of, oh good, nobody got sick? But we'll never know who might have got sick. But hey, we're all broke, our 401ks are gone, and it's the price you pay to stay alive through a pandemic, right? Something doesn't add up. Everything feels like this is fake. Everything feels like there's very little truth being told and reported. And as far as the dangers, as far as the origins of it, as far as who's affected, is it just old people like every other sickness? Does it have the ability to, is it only attacking people with certain genomes, certain markers in their genomes, I've heard everything. But how do we know? How do we know who it's affecting, if it's any worse than a regular flu, if there's a reason to panic? Who knows? Who could know? But what I see happening is a little frightening when you consider that Deagle has forecast the United States to lose 200 plus million people in the next 5 years. And they use a virus like Ebola in their answer to questions of why are you predicting such a drastic drop in population. They use that as an example, while speaking out of the other side of their mouth that we didn't use that to collect our data, but there's an example of how you could lose a bunch of people. And then thanks to Snake Jones, and I'd heard a little bit about this, but apparently you can imagine the bagels are concerned about their clandestine operations being rooted out. So they've got apparently a couple of programs called Pogo and Zephyr, Zyphr. The first one is to honeypot people, to create lists of those who would be deemed dangerous. And then with Project Zephyr, it's to eliminate people who are on the list. So, let's just say any of this is in the works. Okay? They've got a perfect situation under this, whatever it is, pandemic, emergency powers, emergency, national emergency. They've got the perfect situation where people could start disappearing, and if anyone asks what happened to so and so, oh, they got sick, and so that's where they went. They're part of the pandemic, and people are already like, you know, a sad reality of this is people show how out for their own ass they are just from this, just so far, you know. It's like, oh, I'm going to get all the toilet paper, and I'm going to get all the bread, and I'm going to wipe out. So people are stepping over each other to wipe out things right now. And so imagine if you start hearing, oh, so-and-so got sick, and you don't want to see them, you don't want to know, you don't want to go near their house, you don't want to have anything to do with following up on that, other than, oh, well, that's too bad for them, and thanks for the warning, we won't go near their place because we might get sick. So there won't be any, what I'm saying is there won't be any reason to follow up on what's being told to you if people start disappearing. It'll just instantly be okay. It'll just be okay that people ended up disappearing without any proof of where or why or how, or if they were really sick. Do you see what I'm saying? How it's a perfect situation for people to just start coming up missing that are undesirable to whoever. And I don't want to fearmonger, and I'm not, I definitely am not pushing this panic. It's really upsetting to me that some of these channels that were, quote, truther channels don't speak. He's completely gone off the rails. And Stranger Than Fiction, some of these guys, I don't know what they're even trying to say, because out of one side of their mouth, it's, oh my gosh, this is terrible, my kids have got it, my wife has got it. Don't Speak has just gone off the rails looking for attention or something, I don't know what. But nothing will be good enough for these guys. I mean, when are they going to say what? I don't even know. It's just the craziest thing. Like, they're supporting the panic is what I guess, trying to get to on these guys. They're supporting the panic. They're not quelling the panic in any such way. And it's curious to me. Even my buddies Serpent ZA and Laoway 86 Sea Milk, they're from China, but they're not in China now. But all of a sudden they have all these expert ideas and opinions on. And usually I would say that you can trust everything they say, but again, it's like this accepting the new world is a world that'll be different thanks to this pandemic, and shutting stuff down and quarantining, and everything is just what you do, and what we need to do, and what we have to do, and what's responsible to do. I don't know where they get this idea that you can trust any of this, and anyone to follow up on it with responsible in a responsible way that's really looking out for the best interest of everybody and everything. It doesn't seem to be going that direction. It seems to be just some kind of circus. I don't even know what to say about how odd to me it is that people are panicking and allowing themselves to get worked up and panicked over something that's largely probably fake or no worse than a regular cold. That's another thing. How can it be both ways that they're having trouble screening, or they don't, I mean, how do they know? How do they have these confirmed cases? There's a report I just read that there's a guy who has a confirmed case of it. He refuses to self-quarantine, so the governor has sent, What? Some guy is in direct contact with the governor and with law enforcement and said, screw you, I'm going to go spread this stuff. And they said, no, you won't. And so now they're standing outside of his house. Does any of that make sense? How did he become a confirmed case? How did he get out of a facility where he was confirmed to go back out into the world? How did that happen? And then he's back out in the world and he's able to just say, screw you. And then now we have to call in, A-team to come make sure he doesn't leave the house? Is that some kind of a thing to get you ready for what I'm talking about? If you see a SWAT team or a group of military outside of someone's home, it's because they have refused to self-quarantine. And so that's why you see that. And then if you never see him again, well, he succumbed to the disease, to the pandemic. Am I making any sense? Again, I don't want to fearmonger. I say, like Chuck Baldwin, if you've got a relationship with God, then you should be on the other side of these situations as far as looking out for your own ass and stepping over people and writing people off, oh, you got the disease, stay away from me, go die. That seems to be sort of the mentality. But if you have a relationship with God, then it's like, hey, there's things that are out of my control, and I trust in God. And when it's time to check out, I'll check out. My reward's in heaven, so I just got nothing better to do than love God right now. That's what this is. It isn't like run around, panic, live in fear, freak out. But let me tell you this. If you made it this far, here's a tip. If and when they start rolling out the questionnaires on the internet, are you feeling sick? Do you have a fever? I don't know how they're going to pull this, but I would not get on the internet and start answering yes to these questions. Because then if they match you up with, oh, this person answered yes to our questions and they're on a list, let's go get them first. Because now they can say, oh, well, we have proof that they said that they were sick and we confirmed it, and sure enough, they're gone because they had the sickness. So, yeah, I would be very careful who to trust in any of this, except the Lord. God bless.